She heard the word stay, and her legs obeyed before her mind did. A thin voice, almost gentle, wrapped her spine like cold wire. In that breath, Emma learned the scariest chains with syllables. Emma taught companies how phrasing shaped behavior, how tone softened resistance, how rhythm slipped past thought, how a single word could steer a room. Tonight was supposed to be simple. Takeout, an episode of true crime, sleep. But the man in the gray hoodie outside her building asked for the time and added 3 soft sounds. It, okay. Breathe. Her thumb froze over her phone. The screen dimmed like a curtain. She tasted metal. He didn't touch her. He calibrated her. Of course, he said when she whispered that she had to go. Just a second. Compliment first, leash second. The exact pattern she flagged in workshops. Her chest tightened, but she moved anyway, pulled the door, climbed the stairs, and kept her pace even. Panic obeyed everything. Calm obeyed her. Inside, she locked the door, set the chain, wedged a chair under the knob, and laughed at the chair because it made her feel like a child building a fort. The laugh sounded borrowed. She lit a rosemary candle and replayed the scene. It's okay, breathe. Not a command. A guided reflex. The cadence matched a template she studied: gentle imperative plus safety cue. Therapy used it to soothe. Sales used it to frame price drops. Cults used it to weather doubt. The overlap felt chilling. Emma opened her laptop and typed, hypnotic reassurance phrasing weaponized in public. She listed examples. You can relax now. You're safe with me. Trust the process. A notification blinked. Unknown number. You left your wallet outside. The message joined her fear rather than opposed it. She checked her purse. The wallet sat zipped where it always lived. She photographed it on the table anyway. Another text arrived. Maybe it isn't yours. I can bring it up. Helpful tone. Hook hidden in care. He had her number. Maybe he saw her passcode. Maybe he scraped it from somewhere ordinary. Emma closed her eyes and did what her mentor, Dr. Halle, taught: find friction. She pressed her tongue to her molars, pinched her forearm, and said out loud, I do not outsource danger to polite phrasing. Her voice steadied a notch. What do you want? She texted, a rope tossed into a dark well. 3 dots appeared, vanished, returned. To make sure you're okay, came back. You seemed unsteady. Another safety cue. Another net. She took the spare phone from her research kit, a clean number she used for script testing, and messaged. Dr. Halle, urgent. Man outside using influence language. He has my number. Dr. Halle answered within a minute. Locked doors. Call 911. Stay on this thread. Clean words. Ground. Command. Action. The original phone chimed again. You're safe with me. No need to call anyone. The exact isolation script she trained clients to resist. She deleted it without rereading, as if deletion could scrub it from her bloodstream. The 911 operator asked for details and stayed with her while dispatch sent officers. Emma read the number out loud. The digits settled in a steady rhythm, mirrored pairs, easy to remember. People who understood memory chose numbers like that. A knock came, not heavy, polite. Emma? The man called, voice mid-volume, tone like a barista calling a name. Hearing her name made the hall feel close. He could have lifted it from the mailbox panel, the buzzer directory, or everywhere. Do not respond, the operator said. Emma didn't. She needed data instead of fear. She crept to the peephole, gray hoodie, open palms. Measured tilt of his head, disarm, invite, contain. He smiled small, a face built to be trusted with lost dogs. It's okay to open, he said, soft as a lullaby. I can explain. He's at the door, Emma whispered. "Officers are close," the operator said. "Stay put." He leaned into the peephole. For a heartbeat, his iris filled the circle. Emma stepped back. He didn't knock again. He said his last phrase like a velvet weight. "Trust me." Footsteps retreated. Silence inflated. Sirens arrived 5 minutes later. 2 officers took notes, checked the messages, promised to loop the block through the night, and left. Emma sat on the floor while the rosemary candle thinned the air. Under the quiet, she still heard residue, the low hum of suggestion her body kept translating as safety. "Trust me. You're safe with me. It's okay, breathe." She told herself simple truths. The door is locked. The chain is on. The chair is wedged. The police were here. She breathed until her ribs loosened. Then she noticed the white slip under the door. A card. Minimal type. "We understand you." Beneath, a number with that same mirrored rhythm. On the back, pencil curved like a smile. "We speak your language." Emma held it by the edge as if the paper itself could transmit control, and thought about language as a living creature that wanted homes in human bodies. She took a photo for the report and placed the card in a zip bag from her kit. Rituals gave her nerve. Fear obeyed structure. She pulled up the map she'd been building. Field guide to covert phrasing. She added, "We understand you," to the section on false empathy. She wrote fast, naming the tactic. Join, label, lead. Join the emotion, label it as if you can carry it, then lead the target toward the behavior you want. She added physical markers, head tilt, soft eye contact, open hands. Counter moves. Breathe on your count, not theirs. Break cadence with an ugly sound. Call a name they aren't expecting. Her apartment felt like a set, props arranged around a script she had not chosen. She wanted to burn the card, but feared liking the power of that small fire. Instead, she washed her hands as if rinsing his tone off her skin. She changed into a sweatshirt, slid her notebook into a backpack, and stood at the window. Rain began, thin and silver, then thickened into sheets that turned the street into smears of light. Her spare phone buzzed. Dr. Holly again. Police loop shows no one nearby. "Crash at my place," she typed. "I'll pack a bag." He replied, "Good. Leave now. Photo when you're downstairs." She shut the laptop and moved with deliberate speed. Charger, toothbrush, research kit, paperback with a cracked spine, zip bag with the card. She slid the chair away, lifted the chain, listened for movement, and opened the door to the hall. Empty. The building smelled like wet carpet and paint. She locked up and headed down. On the first floor landing, she paused. The lobby lights flickered and steadied. Street noise ran like water. She stepped into the vestibule and reached for the outer handle. "Emma," a voice said behind her, not a shout, a placement. He stood by the mailboxes, hood down now, rain stippling his hair. His smile courteous, posture casual, eyes calmly lit like a neighbor asking for directions. "It's okay," he said, warmth curling the words. "You can relax now." Her fingers tightened on the bag strap. The glass reflected them both in a thin overlay, her, taut as wire. Him, framed as ordinary. Dr. Halley's Rule 3 flashed, the one he rarely said aloud because it sounded dramatic. If the voice becomes the room, change the room. Emma opened the door into the rain and stepped out without answering. Cold hit her face, clean and unshaped. Behind her, the man said, not loud but landing, "Wait." The syllable hooked behind her ribs. She made an ugly sound, raw and breaking, and it startled her enough to laugh. The sound cracked his rhythm. She kept walking. Headlights cut across the wet street. An old sedan pulled to the curb. Emma ran the last steps and slid into the passenger seat. Dr. Hale's eyes were fierce and kind. "Breathe on your count," he said, tapping the wheel. She matched it. The sedan pulled away. In the mirror, the man watched, small in the rain, not following, only looking, as if he knew stories continued whether or not anyone invited them. Emma held the zip bag tight and thought, "Not tonight. Not my mind." The rain made the city look clean but felt like disguise. Every drop erased footprints, voices, the thin trail of adrenaline Emma left behind. In Dr. Hale's car, the heater hummed low. She watched droplets run down the glass like nervous thoughts racing each other. He drove without music, letting silence hold its own weight. "You did the right thing," he said finally, eyes on the road. Breaking cadence. "That sound saved you." Emma nodded. He knew what to say. Every phrase was rehearsed. That's what they do. Language first, contact later. Hale's tone was professional, calm, a rhythm she trusted. But his knuckles were white on the wheel. The city thinned into suburbs. Neon bled into darkness. Houses blurred into fields and trees. Emma exhaled for the first time since the stairwell. The hum of the tires steadied her heartbeat. Yet every now and then she heard echoes of that man's words looping inside her head like a melody she couldn't forget. "You can relax now." Her muscles wanted to listen. Halle turned onto a gravel drive leading to an old house half hidden by trees. His porch light was yellow and patient. Inside smelled of coffee and ozone, the way storm air lingers after lightning. Bookshelves climbed the walls, heavy with psychology texts and field journals. Emma had spent years in this space, learning how words became weapons and how silence could disarm better than arguments. "Guest room's ready," he said. "You can sleep or debrief. Up to you." "Debrief," she said immediately. "If I sleep, he'll show up in my dreams." He poured coffee into mismatched mugs, handed her one. "Tell me everything." She started from the street, from "It's okay, breathe," to the note under her door. Halle listened like he was tracing a map she couldn't see. When she finished, he wrote 2 words in his notebook, "Mirror syntax." That's what he used. She asked. "It's what it sounds like," Halle said. "A feedback loop." He echoed your micro-reactions and adjusted in real time. Most people can't do it that smoothly unless they've practiced. Or been trained. Emma frowned. Trained where? He looked at her over the rim of his cup. "You know where." She did. The Institute for Influence Studies, a non-profit on paper, a research front in truth. Halle used to consult there, before ethics caught up. They taught persuasion as a science, but never answered who funded it. A decade ago, one of their subjects went missing. The Institute called it a dropout. Halle called it a cover-up. "You think he's one of them?" she asked. Halle closed his notebook. "I think someone wanted to test you." "Why me?" "Because you wrote the guide that exposes their methods," he said quietly. "If you can predict manipulation, you can prove it's real. That threatens them." A thunder roll pressed against the windows. Emma stared into her coffee and saw her reflection tremble. "He knew my name. They always know the names first," Halle said. "That's how they make the next command feel personal." Emma's phone buzzed. New message from an unknown number again. Her pulse spiked as she flipped it over. "Did he save you?" She showed it to Halle. He didn't hesitate. "Power move," he said. "They want to make me part of the script. They're framing rescue as another leash. Can we trace it?" He shook his head. "Burner, root jumps every message, but patterns slip. Keep it. Every text reveals intention." He reached for the phone, but Emma pulled it back. "Let me handle it." "Emma, no. That's how they win, by making me a case file. I need to face it like a subject, not a victim." Halle studied her, then nodded slowly. "Then we play their game. She typed back, "Define save." The dots appeared instantly. "From yourself," the reply said. Her breath caught. "They're watching," she whispered. "Or they're guessing," Halle said. "People like this live on probabilities. The trick is to show them randomness." Emma set the phone face down. "Then we make chaos." They spent hours constructing a response plan. Halle sketched patterns on the table, empathy hooks, compliance loops, embedded imperatives. Emma countered each with linguistic noise sentences that sounded coherent but meant nothing. Rhythms that broke expectation. They built an armor of nonsense. When she looked up, dawn bled pale gold through the curtains. "How long can we keep them confused?" "As long as you don't crave meaning," Halle said softly. "That's what they feed on, the need to understand." His words hit deeper than intended. Emma realized she did crave meaning. Even now, she wanted to know why him, why her, why tonight. She closed her eyes and saw that card again. "We understand you." Maybe that was the trap, not fear, but curiosity. "I'm not sure I can switch that off," she said. "You don't switch it off," Halle replied. "You learn to starve it." The phone buzzed again. She ignored it. The sound crawled under her skin anyway, a mosquito in her nerves. Halle slid the device into a metal box he used for data isolation. "No signals in or out," he said. Emma stretched her arms, bones clicking, fatigue leaking through her muscles. She hadn't realized how much her body ached until the threat quieted. "I'll try to rest," she said. "Take my room," Halle offered. "I'll monitor the perimeter." She didn't argue. Upstairs, his room smelled like cedar and ink. Books crowded the nightstand. Persuasive pathways, the architecture of trust, the human switch. She lay down, shoes off but clothes on, just in case. The ceiling fan hummed slow circles. Her thoughts slowed with it. Half-sleep came like fog. She dreamed of words as insects crawling under her skin small, whispering things spelling safety until it hurt. She woke to silence so thick it hummed. Light leaked through blinds. Morning or close. Downstairs, Halle wasn't in the living room. His coffee cup sat half full. The front door was open an inch. "Halle?" She called. No answer. She stepped outside. Rain had stopped, leaving the ground slick. A black car idled near the trees. Its windows were tinted. Her heart thudded once, heavy and slow. She moved back toward the door and froze. A voice spoke behind her, not loud, not soft, just balanced perfectly to fit her hearing. "It's okay, Emma. He's safe." Her body betrayed her again, turning before thought caught up. A woman stood in the yard, late 30s, hair tied, dressed in gray. No weapon, no smile, just presence. "Who are you?" Emma asked. "Someone who understands you," the woman said. "You study language. We study you." Emma's mouth went dry. "The Institute?" The woman tilted her head, not confirming, not denying. "You survived the test. That means you're ready for the truth." "I don't want your truth," Emma said. "That's what everyone says before they hear it," the woman replied. Dr. Halle knew you'd reach this point. Something in Emma cracked cold. "What do you mean?" The woman gestured to the car. "He brought you here because this is where the next phase begins." Emma glanced toward the door. "He wouldn't. He already did," the woman said, stepping closer. "He gave you to us the moment he taught you how to resist." Emma backed away. "Stay there." The woman's tone softened, carrying that same lethal empathy. "It's okay, breathe." Emma's pulse spiked. "Don't you dare. Breathe," the woman said again, slower. The world tilted, her knees weakened. The air folded inward, sounds muffled. She bit her tongue hard enough to taste blood, but her body swayed toward stillness. "Stop." She gasped. That won't work. The woman smiled faintly. It already is. Suddenly, gravel crunched Hale's voice cutting through the trance. Emma, move. He charged from the tree line, shouting an unpatterned string of nonsense words, the same linguistic chaos they'd practiced. It ripped the trance open. Emma staggered backward, eyes clearing. The woman flinched, expression unreadable. The black car door opened behind her. A man inside called, "Enough." The woman stepped away, gaze steady. "You'll understand soon." Then she slid into the car, and it rolled off, tires whispering against wet gravel. Emma collapsed to her knees, chest burning. Holly reached her, gripping her shoulders. "You okay?" She nodded, barely. "Who are they?" Holly looked down the road. "Not ghosts," he said. "Just people who believe control is compassion." "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because belief spreads faster when you name it," he said. "We needed proof." Emma stared where the car vanished. The air smelled like ozone again. She wasn't sure if the storm had ended or just changed shape. Emma didn't sleep for the next 36 hours. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the woman's calm face framed by rain. The way her voice slid into Emma's thoughts like silk fabric. Breathe. Such a simple word, so harmless in daylight, but at night it became a key to her mind. Holly barely spoke on the drive back to the city. His silence pressed on her chest, heavier than noise. He'd said they needed proof, but proof of what? That people could be programmed by empathy? That words could puppeteer will? Back in her apartment, the police tape across her door fluttered with wind. She stepped over it, heart drumming, and felt the same cold ripple in the air as that night. She scanned every shadow, every corner. Nothing moved, but language itself felt alive here. Every word she whispered bounced off the walls like it wanted to be heard by someone else. Holly followed, setting his bag on the counter. "We have to assume they planted surveillance," he said. "Audio, not cameras. They prefer invisible presence. It keeps subjects doubting their own thoughts." Emma sat on the couch, eyes fixed on the rosemary candle she'd left half-burned. "You said they wanted proof. What kind of proof needs me?" "The kind that talks back," Holly said. "You were trained to detect manipulation patterns. They need confirmation their system works on the one person who sees through them. So I'm a test subject." He didn't deny it. Emma's phone vibrated again inside the Faraday box. She felt it even through the metal phantom buzzing memory of control. She wanted to throw the box out the window, but knew that reaction would mean victory for them. So she breathed on her count 1, 2, 3 and said, "I'm not afraid." Holly gave her a small smile. "Fear isn't the weapon anymore. It's consent." That night, she replayed every phrase from the encounter in her notebook. Each sentence dissected, rearranged, mapped. "We understand you." She circled understand. In every manipulation pattern she'd studied, that word anchored compliance. To be understood felt safer than to be free. She wrote, "Empathy is the most efficient cage." Her door knocked softly. Holly entered holding 2 cups of tea. "Couldn't sleep either," he said. "I keep thinking about the way she said he brought you here. Like I was delivered." Holly sat opposite her. "Emma, the Institute studies influence ecosystems pairs, not individuals. A persuader and a resistor. They need both to evolve methods. They probably tracked my research through you, so they wanted both of us." "Yes," he said. "And they already have access." Her stomach turned. "Access to what?" "To everything we've written, every recorded session, our test data, our language experiments. They could mimic either of us perfectly. Voice cloning?" He nodded grimly. "And behavioral echoing." I trained on cadence, hesitation, breath length. They don't need your body, Emma. They need your voice. A chill slid up her spine. That's why the text felt like me talking to myself. Exactly. You were never texting a stranger. You were responding to your own mirror. Emma's throat tightened. So the man outside, was he even real? Halle hesitated. That I don't know. Lightning flashed, and for a second, she saw his reflection in the window, his expression unreadable, maybe guilty. She wondered if he'd known more than he admitted. Why didn't you warn me sooner? She asked. I thought they'd stop watching if we went silent. I was wrong. You always think silence is control, she said bitterly. He didn't argue. The next morning, Emma woke to an empty apartment. Hale's bag was gone. The car keys lay on the table beside another card identical to the first. Only this time, the words were handwritten. We told you silence is obedience. Her hand shook. She called Hale's number. No answer. She tried again. Nothing. She typed a message. Where are you? Delivered, not read. The city outside felt too quiet. She dressed quickly, layered her clothes, grabbed the notebook, and left. The streets shimmered with leftover rain. She ducked into a diner near the station, sat by the window, and opened her laptop on battery mode. If they wanted her voice, she'd weaponize it first. She began recording. My name is Emma Lang. If you're hearing this, words have become the new warfare. They won't break your bones, they'll rewrite your decisions. Learn the patterns before they learn you. She explained cadence traps, empathy loops, compliance frames. Her tone trembled, but held steady enough to sound real. It wasn't for Halle or the Institute. It was for anyone like her who thought they were safe just because they understood manipulation. Knowledge didn't save her. Awareness made her targetable. A waitress passed her a refill, smiling faintly. Rough morning? Something like that, Emma said. The waitress nodded. You should try the apple pie. It's comforting. The phrasing hit her nerves wrong. It's comforting. Soft imperative. Safety cue. She looked up sharply. Sorry, what did you say? The waitress blinked, confused. Pie? Emma forced a smile. Maybe coincidence, maybe not. She paid cash and left, heart hammering. On the sidewalk, a bus advertisement flickered digital text between weather updates. Breathe easy. We understand you. Her pulse spiked. They'd gone public. Not after her, they were broadcasting. She took photos, video, geotag. Proof. A voice beside her said, You shouldn't film proprietary material. Emma turned. A man in a maintenance uniform held out a badge. City Communications Department. His tone carried that same measured warmth. I'm just documenting, she said carefully. It's okay, he replied, lowering his voice. You can trust me. The phrase snapped her back into focus. Without thinking, she shouted, No, loud enough to turn heads. The man froze, startled. She ran through crowds, across the street, into the echo of traffic. Her breath burned, but adrenaline made clarity sharp. Every billboard, every automated voice in store windows echoed fragments of their language. The city had become an experiment. She ducked into an alley and hid behind a dumpster, trembling. Her phone vibrated again in her pocket, even though it was supposed to be dead. She pulled it out. No network bars, but a new message appeared. You're adapting faster than predicted. She typed, What do you want? The reply came at once. Integration. Your resistance completes the pattern. Her hands went cold. Where's Halle? She wrote, He's helping you evolve. She wanted to throw up. Evolve sounded too much like obey. A soft beep. GPS pin dropped automatically on her screen. Same mirrored digits as before. She should delete it, but curiosity, the cage she'd named herself, pulled harder. Minutes later, she stood outside an abandoned television studio. Windows boarded, gate half open. She slipped inside. Dust coated everything. Yet the main stage glowed with fresh monitors displaying static text in white letters, the language of control. In the center stood Halle, facing the screens. "Emma," he said without turning. His voice was calm, too calm. "They took you," she whispered. "No," he said. "I joined them. I thought if I could rewrite their code from inside, I could stop it. But I learned something else. The system isn't them. It's us. What are you talking about?" He faced her. His eyes looked hollow and bright at once. "Every time we study manipulation, we refine it. Every warning becomes a manual. Every defense becomes an upgrade. The only way to stop control is to end communication itself. That's insane." "Maybe," he said softly. "But insanity is just logic that scared the majority." She stepped closer. "Come with me. We can expose them." He shook his head. "They already own the exposure. They need a face for it, and you're perfect. Survivor, victim, expert, the voice people trust." Emma's mouth went dry. "You're turning me into their messenger." "I'm giving you a choice," Halle said. "Walk away and they'll replace you with simulation. Or speak now and lead the movement." "Movement? The age of suggestion," he said quietly. "It begins tonight." Behind him, the monitors shifted to show her own face, live feed captured from somewhere unseen. Her recorded message from the diner played back, looping her warning into propaganda. The words scrolled across the bottom. "You can trust her. She understands you." Emma felt the floor sway. "No," she whispered. "That's not me." "It is now," Halle said. "Your voice changed everything." The screens brightened. A hum filled the room, low, rhythmic, familiar. "Breathe." Emma stumbled backward, covering her ears, but the sound wasn't in the air anymore. It was inside her head, syncing with her pulse. Hale's silhouette blurred in the light. "Don't fight it," he said. "It's only language." But Emma knew better. Language was never only anything. It was control dressed as communication. She reached for her phone, thumbed the emergency audio file she'd built with chaotic syllables, nonsense rhythms designed to scramble influence. She hit play. The air cracked like thunder. The hum faltered. Screens glitched. Halle clutched his ears. Emma whispered through clenched teeth. "My voice. My rules." The static roared, swallowing light, room, meaning. Then everything went black. Silence returned like static after a broadcast ends. Emma opened her eyes into darkness that pulsed faintly blue, as if the air remembered electricity. Her phone was dead in her hand, the last trace of chaos now a faint echo. Her body trembled, but her thoughts came back clear, sharpened by fear and anger. She lay on the studio floor. The monitors had shattered, glass glittering like frost. The hum was gone. So was Halle. The only sound left was her own breath, ragged, human, real. For the first time, silence didn't scare her. It meant control had broken. She stood, legs unsteady, and called out, "Halle." No answer. Just dripping from a leak in the ceiling. Her reflection in a broken screen looked older, eyes hollow but awake. A faint noise behind her footsteps. Emma turned sharply, grabbing a piece of glass like a blade. The door creaked open. Halle stumbled through, bleeding from one temple, his expression dazed. "You stopped it," he said weakly. "I interrupted it," she corrected. "Big difference." He gave a broken smile. "Same outcome." "Not yet," she said. "You said it yourself, language doesn't die, it adapts." He looked at her like he was seeing the student he once believed in. "What are you planning?" To show them what real chaos sounds like. Hale's face tensed. You can't fight information with noise. I can if the noise teaches people to think for themselves. That's not noise, he said softly. That's rebellion. Emma pocketed the glass shard and moved toward the equipment racks. The Institute's servers were still running somewhere underground. Her phone was fried, but the data in its memory, her notes, the recordings, the chaos frequency could be enough to dismantle the system if she could transmit it. She found a backup terminal and powered it up manually. The interface blinked to life, waiting for credentials. She typed in old codes from Hale's archives. Access denied. She tried another. Denied. Behind her, Holly said, "You won't get in." They built layers even I can't cross. Emma exhaled slowly. Then I'll crash it from the outside. He frowned. You'll kill the network. You'll destroy every memory in it, voices, data, research, everything. Good, she said. Let them forget. You don't understand, he said, stepping closer. Without memory, people lose meaning. The Institute will rebuild stronger, without ethics, without oversight. You'll wipe the only record of how to stop them. She looked up at him. Then maybe the record shouldn't exist. Maybe language isn't meant to be caged in data. He shook his head. You're doing what they want, making emotion override logic. You're speaking their language. Emma's jaw tightened. No, I'm reclaiming it. The terminal beeped, a soft tone of partial access. Somehow, her failed attempts had glitched an opening. A prompt appeared. Enter voice authorization. She froze. It's voice locked. Holly stepped beside her. Mine can open it. But if I do, you have to promise not to destroy it. Promise, she said. He leaned in, said his passphrase. The screen unlocked. A console blinked. Master language node active. Emma typed fast, loading the corrupted chaos file she'd recorded. Holly realized too late. Emma, wait. The system blared warning tones. Lights flashed red. Holly grabbed her arm. You'll collapse the network. Millions of speech models gone. That's the idea. He pulled harder. You're erasing people's minds, Emma. The ones they manipulated, the victims, they're still connected. Their recovery data lives here. She hesitated. The thought sliced through her determination. If she destroyed this, she'd destroy evidence too. No proof, no justice, only silence. Then help me isolate the control core, she said. Together, they worked in frantic rhythm, two minds trained to deconstruct manipulation, now tearing its architecture apart. Holly typed override commands while Emma traced the emotional response networks. The room filled with flickering light and digital noise. Finally, she found it a single phrase embedded in code. We understand you. It pulsed like a heartbeat, replicated across every file. The anchor of control. That's it, she whispered. The seed word. Holly nodded. Delete it, and everything depending on it collapses. Emma hovered over the command. Her fingers shook. Say goodbye to the age of suggestion. She pressed delete. The lights went white. A deep vibration ran through the floor, then silence again. Total, heavy, sacred silence. When the glow faded, the monitors showed only static. The servers were dead. She'd done it. Holly sat back, breathing hard. You ended it. No, Emma said, her voice low. I reminded it that we don't need saving. They walked outside into the gray dawn. The city skyline glimmered faintly through the mist. Billboards that once read "Breathe Easy" now displayed nothing but white light. For the first time in weeks, the quiet felt pure. Holly leaned against the car. What happens now? Emma looked at the horizon. People start over. They learn to listen without surrendering. He smiled faintly. And you? She thought for a long moment. I'll keep teaching, but this time, no stages, no screens, just words spoken honestly. He nodded. They'll come for you again. I know, she said. But I've already heard every trick they use. She turned to leave. Behind her, Halle said, You sure this is freedom? Emma stopped, half smiling. Freedom's not silence. It's knowing which voices belong to you. She walked down the empty street, the morning light slowly warming the wet pavement. Somewhere, a distant hum rose city traffic, maybe wind, maybe memory, but it didn't matter. For once, the noise was hers. At a corner cafe, she borrowed a stranger's laptop and opened a new recording. Her face looked tired, but alive. She pressed record. If you've been manipulated, if someone's words rewired your choices, remember this. You can unlearn it. Every sentence that trapped you can be rewritten by you. That's how control ends, not with silence, but with truth. She uploaded it anonymously to every open channel she could find, labeled only, #the language of control. Before closing the lid, she whispered one last sentence, not a command, not a reassurance, but a choice. Think for yourself. Then she smiled, stood up, and walked into the day. The camera feed cut there. The final image, a woman disappearing into light, free not because the voices stopped, but because she stopped listening. If this story gave you chills or made you think twice about the power of words, make sure to subscribe, share, and comment your thoughts below. Your engagement helps more people uncover the hidden world of dark psychology. Until next time, watch your words. And who's using them on you?